Egypt's President Abdel Fattah Al-Sisi has expressed optimism following what he described as very encouraging messages from ongoing indirect ceasefire talks between Hamas and Israel in Sharm el-Sheikh. Speaking at a graduation ceremony for Egyptian police, Al-Sisi said delegations from Qatar, Egypt, and envoys of US President Donald Trump had arrived for discussions, and that the messages he received gave hope for progress. Speaking at a graduation ceremony for Egyptian police, Al-Sisi said delegations from Qatar, Egypt, and envoys of US President Donald Trump had arrived for discussions, and that the messages he received gave hope for progress. He said a ceasefire, the return of prisoners, the reconstruction of Gaza, and the launch of political process leading to recognition of a Palestinian state would mark a path toward lasting peace and stability. Meanwhile, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has urged Israel to make a greater effort toward peace as the talks in Egypt continue. Addressing members of his AK party, Erdogan said it was unfair to place the entire burden of peace on Hamas and the Palestinians, adding that Israel remains the main obstacle to achieving peace and must halt its attack on Gaza.
Filistin Direniş Örgütü Hamas, Sayın Trump'ın barış planına son derece müspet cevap vermiş. Böylece barış iradesini çok net ortaya koymuştur. Ancak şurası bir gerçek ki barış tek kanatlı bir kuş değildir. Barışın tüm yükünü Hamas'a ve Filistinlilere yüklemek ne adildir, ne doğrudur, ne de gerçekçi bir yaklaşımdır. Şu anda barışa giden yolun önündeki en büyük engel İsrail'in saldırılarıdır. İsrail, Sayın Trump'ın açık çağrılarına rağmen olumlu atmosferi baltalayan saldırılarına devam etmektedir. Gerçekten barış isteniyorsa İsrail'in saldırıları derhal durdurulmalıdır.
In a separate development, Claire Magone, Executive Director of Doctors Without Borders France, described Gaza as a place where death hovers and strikes anyone. Returning from a week-long visit, she told Le Monde that she witnessed Israeli tanks advancing, drones flying overhead, and water supplies cut off. She said the army was conducting what she called a strategy of asphyxiation, targeting vital services such as water trucks. Magone also noted that the France has not carried out medical evacuations from Gaza since August and urged her country to resume them. According to the Palestinian Prisoners Society, over 11,100 Palestinians are currently held in Israeli prisons, the highest number since the Second Intifada in 2000. The group said more than 1,460 are sentenced prisoners, including around 350 serving or facing life sentences. The longest sentence belongs to Abdullah Barghouti with 67 life terms. 53 women, including 3 from Gaza, and more than 400 children are also detained. Reports from Rafah say Israeli forces fired on people waiting for food near an aid distribution center, killing one person and injuring others. Gaza's health ministry said at least 8 Palestinians were killed and 61 wounded in the past 24 hours, bringing the total death toll since October 2023 to 67,183. The World Health Organization reports that only 14 of Gaza's 36 hospitals remain partially functional, with severe shortages of water, electricity, and medicine. Meanwhile, Nelson Mandela's grandson Mandla Mandela returned to South Africa after being detained and deported by Israel while taking part in aid flotilla to Gaza. He said he was held for 6 days before being released via Jordan. For more on this, read the full Dawn story linked in the description.
We were detained there, but I think again our experience of the 6 days being there will never be about us, but it will be about the memory of what was on the walls within those prisons. We came to the realization of all Palestinians that have been detained there, who have left their names on the walls, who have left their blood stains on the walls, who have been martyred within those walls. This is the memory we will continue to carry until Palestine is liberated. Comrades, we were denied all legal representation and even engagement with our diplomats in an attempt to save their face. They simply brought them in so that we could see we had representation. And 2 minutes we were given to give this entire narrative that we have given. And as a result, we could not give real meaning to the experience of being there. And when we were being released, again they made sure that we were the last to be released. I remember them dragging Tiago out from cell 1, who was determined to not leave any comrade behind. And Yasmin in the women's side was also determined to be the last to be taken. But they were the first to be taken out, and we were kept behind. I was on cell 15, and they went and made sure that everyone else was out. When they came to cell 15, they took everyone else and made sure I was the last. This was their everlasting message to South Africa, to you and I, to all of us as a nation. But when we left, with a smile I said to them, we will return. We are unshaken and already arriving here at home, we will begin working on flotilla number 2. Comrades, our second wave has been intercepted with 180 of our comrades from the 1000 Medellin arrested in the conscious. These were journalists like yourselves and doctors that had pledged their support with journalists and doctors in Gaza. I hope as journalists you will draw courage from that, and you will be a voice of not only those journalists captured, but the journalists in Gaza that continue to be subjected to the brutality of apartheid Israel.